Are you guys all set?
Yep.
All right, Coach, why don't you go ahead and give an opening statement on tonight's win?
Obviously, at the end of the day, happy to come away with the win. Happy to be back home for this little stint as well. But like I told our guys, even in the process of whether you win or lose, always being critical of things that we need to improve on. And I thought there were just lapses throughout the game that I thought from a listening standpoint or attention to detail within the scouting report and carrying it over. Still got to get over when we get leads, the ability to start getting comfortable and letting teams back in. But thought we came out in the second half, did a much better job, both offensively and defensively. But there were some pluses. Did a great job rebounding the basketball and a great job assisting, but also not turning it over as much as well. So areas to be happy about, but at the same time, things that we still need to improve.
Coach, was this more, I'm sure you break the film down, but defensively, is this kind of more what you're kind of accustomed to or expect from your guys for the most part? Not to say it couldn't have been better, but just the way you defended today, was that more what you expect?
Well, it was funny because we talked about a quote leading into this game, and what it talked about is not always making the perfect play, but giving the perfect effort. Every time giving that effort. And when we're pretty good on the defensive end of the floor, it's more due to the effort than it being a perfect scenario. And I think when we're active and our hands are active and we're making multiple effort type plays and then we're finishing it with the rebound, again, those are the highlights. Those are the things you clip and say, it's in there. We just need it more consistently.
After the Drake game, you talked about getting Al to kind of put up
mustache.
That's my pressure's there. No, just kind of getting Al involved more offensively. I know maybe didn't take quite as many shots at South Carolina, but is it nice to kind of have maybe a trend going instead of just kind of the one-off games like you talked about where you got to kind of keep him on?
I'm sorry.
Just you mentioned kind of keeping Al, make sure that he does it game after game, not just one with the offense.
Well, what I talked to our guys about leading into this game, just coming off of South Carolina and just reevaluating the season as it was going, the biggest thing was trying to get Al and HD down to 30 minutes rather than burning them out. Obviously H started off the season with 40 plus games, and Al has been up around 35 to 38 depending on the opponent. But at the end of the day, what we're asking them to do is pretty tough. Sometimes going against guys that are 40 pounds bigger than them, to bang and keep them out of the paint and then say, give me that same energy on the offensive end of the floor has been tough. So, finding a way to get them down to 30 has been good. Like tonight was great. And hopefully it will help with his consistency or assertiveness on the offensive end of the floor. But it also allowed us an opportunity to get knocked out there a little bit more and Mameka out there a little bit more.
Coach, the players mentioned different combinations that were out on the floor than some previous games. Was there anything to that, or was it just the matchup with Pacific?
No, that's something that we want to try to do going forward in essence of helping me. At the end of the day, if it was up to me, I wouldn't take Allen H out. I would have him play 40 minutes, but that's short-term thinking. I think if we want to be able to use them long-term, I got to find a way to rest them. So within that process, the best way to do it is getting Andrew and Jordan out there a little bit more and attacking differently with that lineup rather than with Allen H out on the floor. So more duck ins with Jordan and Andrew and more ball screen situations to give guys like Lou, Nye, and maybe even JJ an opportunity to play off ball screens.
Did you like what you saw with some of that out there?
It was the first time, so I wasn't disappointed, but I went to it a couple of times throughout the game, and I didn't think it was bad minutes. But again, it served its purpose in the sense of resting Allen H.
Coach, you gave up Cody to start, and I know Cody's played minutes. It's not like he hasn't, but Just kind of your decision thinking there, starting him, and what did you think he gave you? It seemed like he got off to a good start and kind of sparked you guys.
Well, you know, again, just evaluating where we were at within the season, and him and also Nye, and just giving him an opportunity to play with the starting unit versus the, in a sense, the second group. Just thought when he was out there with the second group, I thought he was trying to do too much. And then I got on Nye because I'm trying to get him more energetic, about affecting the game. Some of the things that we saw last year in practice felt like I haven't seen it yet. So just wanted to change it up a little bit to see how it would look. But I thought Cody did a tremendous job tonight. I thought he played within himself, within his game. Really affected it on both ends of the floor. He was great patrolling, and I thought he did a tremendous job defensively. So I was happy to see that.
I know you mentioned some of the different lineups being good for Russ, for Al, and HD, but for the other guys, is it kind of helpful for them to be out there and not have, maybe quite as many veterans surrounding them and kind of have to rely on themselves a little bit more?
Well, I think at the end of the day, what's best about it, at least they know they're going to get in the game. So there's a mental preparation there outside of not knowing that I might play tonight, I might not. But like I told the staff, I gotta hold myself accountable to getting that group out there. And I tell you, to be honest with you, sometimes I can see that group getting out there and extending leads because of what we're trying to do. But I can't just throw it by the wayside, if the other team goes on an 8-0 run. But like I said, I usually try with that group. Always try to keep veterans out there. Like Lou is out there, Nye is a redshirt junior, and then Alex is usually out there, or JJ. So it's still somewhat of a veteran group. It's just that we want to attack differently.
Was it kind of the same thinking for South Carolina? I think that was the most minutes Jordan had so far this year. Just the rest thing a little bit more.
Well, no, in that game, it was more because of the physicality of South Carolina that it was a better game for him. Rather than Andrew. And I didn't think Andrew did bad when he got out there. I just thought it was a better game for Jordan. But at the same time, with what we're thinking, again, it'll give him an opportunity to get out there, easily, somewhere between 8 to 12 minutes a night.
Is that it?